my health has actually been improving every single year, despite the fact that I am getting older.
So I'm here at Marathon Health for a sugar test. Normally, every year we would go to the doctor and have full blood work done. And you know, all the routine tests that need to be done. Ah! Oh my God! I did not expect this to hurt this much. So it's a quarter year and now I'm getting it done. And Marissa here is going to tell me what my readings are. She said since I haven't eaten anything since 7 o'clock last night, it should be under 100. So, you know, wish me luck. Have tried to be healthy, but you know, I had a few fried things in between, so.
The levels are 95.
So I'm 95, just below 100. Thank God, I was hoping it was going to be better, but it is what it is. Welcome to episode 24 of Happily Entangled AF.
So in today's episode, we would like to share with you 10 of the habits and lifestyle changes that Asma and I have tried to include in our lives, between doctor visits of course, to ensure that we are maintaining at least or at best improving our general health. That being said though, please note that this is not intended in any way whatsoever to replace the guidance and counsel of your doctor, your family doctor, physician, or any other medical professional. These are just things that we have researched, we have run by our medical professionals, our GP, and that we incorporate into our lives. We're going to start with number 1 on our list, and that happens to be including the use of apple cider vinegar in our lives. Now, many would already know the general benefits and uses of apple cider vinegar. However, we use it for improved gut health, and it also helps with weight loss as well, in addition to many other functions. It's best usually to have this on an empty stomach, and if you can't consume it as is, most people tend to dilute it with water because it can be damaging to your throat and your teeth, etc. It's very, very corrosive to enamel. So I would normally mix mine with water, add some pink salt and a couple splashes of lime or lemon juice as well to make this really nice cocktail that allows me to enjoy it sugar-free and to reap all the benefits of apple cider vinegar. So at number 1 on our list of 10 healthy practices, apple cider vinegar.
So the second thing that we have done, we've actually replaced our unhealthy vegetable oil with coconut oil and olive oil. Even sometimes we would use avocado oil. The coconut oil we would use for heavier cooking because it could withstand the heat, and then the olive oil we would put into salads, or if we do light saute. We'd even put coconut oil in our peanut punch when we make it at home because it has nice healthy fats. And would you believe you could get an array of them right here at Marathon Health Pharmacy in Gasparillo?
So the third lifestyle change that we've made for better health is the near 100% elimination of dairy from our diets. And it's not been a very hard road to go down because there are a lot of replacements that are easily available, like oat milk, and take for instance the almond milk variety that is available right here at Marathon Health in Gasparillo at the corner of Bedu, Dano and Thompson Street. Now, as you may already know, dairy is bad for us in a variety of ways, including the inflammation that it can potentially add to your body if consumed on a regular basis. And then of course, if you know what's happening with the dairy industry worldwide, it's another reason why you may want to make that choice to abstain from it altogether as well. Now, that does not mean that we're not going to go out and come to your house, for instance, and enjoy a burfi meal with milk from time to time. It does not mean that we're not going to go out for pizza and enjoy a pizza with extra cheese from time to time, but it does mean that on most days, 9.5 days out of 10, dairy is not a part of our diets.
So at number 4 on the list, we try to stay away from processed foods. So for example, hot dogs, that's something that Fazeer loved. When we just got married, he brought it down to just twice for the year, but when he was younger, he would have it more often. 1, it's available. 2, the price is right. When you now start to work, that's all the money you have, so it works for you. But for me, growing up, we weren't accustomed eating hot dogs, so that was like a funny thing. Just looking at it, and you think about the processes, and you know, they put everything into there, and then they put it into that plastic sleeve. So, you know, just in my head, the thought of it, it can't go down. But what we try to do is eat more healthy, and I'll tell you another story. So when I was about 7, my grandmother was in the hospital, and we went to visit, but children weren't allowed to go in. So a friend of the family, she was a nurse, and she took us over to nurses' hostels. Now, back then, they just had their minor snacks, but they were nice to us, and they shared it, right? Imagine a 7-year-old, it's the first time I'm having corn curls. So you're so excited, it comes out of a pack. Lo and behold, you get home, your stomach not accustomed to that. Throw out everything. Well, you know, my mother knew exactly what we ate, and that just goes to show that, you know, your body got accustomed to it. So when you put junk food in, it's going to come back on. So we try our best to stay away from processed things. That doesn't mean that we don't have processed things, because we would still have salmon from the tin, or, you know, if we go out, we will still, you know, binge and have things, but the greater part during the week, we try to stay as healthy as we can.
A couple of years ago, I was introduced to intermittent fasting by a holistic doctor on the East-West corridor. At that time, I was in the worst shape and health of my life, borderline being put on cholesterol tablets and a couple other issues, inflammation being one of my major issues at the time. I started the intermittent fasting, and I have to say that from then till now, my health has actually been improving every single year, despite the fact that I am getting older. The doctor basically told me, not the holistic doctor, but my regular GP eventually told me, whatever I'm doing, just keep on doing it, because clearly it is working. What exactly is intermittent fasting? The short gist of it is a period where you abstain from food and drink, or really anything that triggers an insulin reaction, for a period of time, and then you have a window thereafter wherein you can consume your meals. For me, like most other people who start intermittent fasting, we work with a 16-8 ratio, where you fast for 16 hours and then you feed during an 8-hour window. So my last meal would usually be at around 6 p.m. and my first meal is at 10 a.m. Now, does it mean that I'm starving during that time? No, because for most of that time you're sleeping, but you're allowed to eat or drink things that do not trigger an insulin reaction. So coffee, no milk or sugar, is friendly for intermittent fasting. It will not kick you out of intermittent fasting. Tea as well, no milk or sugar, falls into the same category. That apple cider vinegar drink that I showed you earlier on, and so many other things, would also not kick you out of your intermittent fast. All right, now intermittent fasting is given a boost whenever you can add some keto friendly or keto-esque meals to that diet plan, which are high-fat meals, so it helps with the process of ketosis. The major advantage of intermittent fasting, however, is not just the weight loss that most people benefit from, but a process known as autophagy, where your body begins healing itself. To learn more about it, we'll try to leave a couple links in our description down below for you to understand more about autophagy, which is the major benefit of intermittent fasting.
Point number 6, stay away from fried food. So I love fried food, however, it's better to have the fried stuff. Oops. So I'm doing a cholesterol test, because my cholesterol was a little bit coming to the borderline, you know. So we thought, we're already here, we're going to find out this is the service that they offer. Back to the oils, right? Now, if you do oils at home and you fry your stuff, you know you're going to use it once and throw it out. But when you buy on the outside, you don't know how many times you're going to be frying your food in it. Plus, they're probably using vegetable oils or something else, you know. So try to stay away from fried foods. That's what we try to do during the week. Yes, we cheat sometimes, but anyways, you're gonna get the results from my cholesterol test at the end of this video, because it takes like 3 minutes to have it done.
Now, it's all well and good to eat that which is healthy and to refrain from that which is unhealthy. But another very important point to consider is the time at which you eat certain foods, because some foods can be very healthy for you depending on the time that it is consumed. Take, for instance, fruits. We would generally try to have our fruits in the morning period to give our bodies a chance to work out the sugar that comes with those fruits, as opposed to having them in the night, which could turn otherwise good foods into something that could be potentially bad for you. So point number 7 is always be mindful of the time that you eat your foods.
At number 8, we stay away from soft drinks and juices with added sugar. So it's not to say that we're never going to have a soft drink. Maybe we might be eating pizza or we eating out and we would, you know, cheat a little bit and have something to drink. But on a regular basis, no, we try to stay away from it. So even so much as when we would purchase maybe a pack of juice, we make sure that there's no added sugar in it. Stew chicken is cooked without sugar, so you throw it in the pot and get it done. Or Fuzma's mom likes to use uku so that there is some color in it. When we make our coleslaw, there's no sugar in it, you just make it just like that. You know, just those little things we try to do to eliminate it. Tea and coffee, no sugar in it. So we try. Sometimes we cheat, but we try.
So second to the intermittent fasting, the next best thing that I've done for my health and longevity is to eliminate flour from my diet. And I know there are many people who try to do this and they say things to me like, but then what do you eat if you eliminate flour, etc. But we're talking here specifically about wheat flour, eliminating wheat flour for a variety of reasons. and namely so just because of how unhealthy and highly processed white flour is these days. But there are flour substitutes these days, things like arrowroot flour, coconut flour, almond flour, and there are a variety of cassava flours and a variety of other flours made locally as well are available to you in abundance at most major supermarkets and even here at Marathon Health Pharmacy. Just pop in and ask them for it and they'll be all too glad to show you their range. But that helps with weight reduction. It helps as well so that you're not putting in as much unhealthy gluten and stickiness into your body, and it also helps with inflammation and a variety of other things. Trust you me, I know many other folks who have quit their consumption of flour altogether, and it is one of the best decisions you can make for your health.
At number 10, exercise and fitness lifestyle. So we encourage you to have a fit lifestyle. It doesn't matter what you do. For us, we like to cycle, we like going to the beach, getting a nice swim, we like hiking, we like doing the outdoor activities. But for you, it may be something different. So find what you like, but just make sure you maintain that fitness lifestyle.
These are the 10 lifestyle changes that we have made to ensure our better health and longevity and a better quality of life altogether. But despite all of what you eat or abstain from eating, even if you were to eat a perfectly healthy diet all the time, every time, chances are you're still going to come up short in terms of nutrition, and chances are you're also going to require some medication for some ailment at some point in time. And that is why it is so important to make contact with and have good relationships with your medical team, and that medical team also includes a community pharmacy as well. We support our community pharmacy here in Marathon Health, located, as mentioned earlier, at the corner of Beirut, Dano, and Thompson Street. So much so that they already know what we usually purchase. So for me, it's Allegra, which helps whenever there's a Sahara dust flare up. I suffer from acute allergies, so this is the only thing that keeps me sane during those periods. And the doctor recommends some B vitamin supplements, and I'll rotate these from time to time. For asthma though, it's a bit different.
Yeah, so I get Advil, and that's for like period time, maybe the first day or the second day, and like my iron tends to be a little low, so ferroglobin works to me, and this just kind of helps. So, you know, especially for the riding. You need the iron.
For the riding, the extra iron.
Otherwise, I get left behind. The boys will leave me. So if I want to ride with them, I have to make sure my iron is up.
And the good thing about a community pharmacy is that when you come in, even if I come to pick up something for my mom, I don't need to know exactly what I have to pick up. I just come in and tell Marissa, hey, my mom sent me to pick up her usual supplies, which would normally be Norvasc and metformin, and they're both for diabetes, are they?
Hypertensive and diabetes.
For hypertension and for diabetes, and those are my mom's prescriptions. And of course there will be other things from time to time, but these are our usual suspects.
So remember, we were supposed to tell you what my results were, and Fazier's gonna tell you.
Well, I'll tell you this much, right? It has improved somewhat. Initially, I thought that her cholesterol had skyrocketed a bit compared to the last time, but I got the figure wrong initially. So it has improved somewhat from her last trip to the doctor to this checkup, but it's still not where it needs to be, and I will call her out on this video and say that she is prone to cheating on the fried foods. She did admit that earlier, but that's the reason why it's not where it should be. But it also does say to us that we are certainly on the right track, because without taking a pill, she has still managed to send down her cholesterol by quite some units, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
by quite some units, yeah?
So that means I'm just gonna start having some celery juice now, you know. So
Yeah.
just to bring it back down even further, because you know.
But this has also brought us to the end of episode 24.
24. Yes.
Yeah. It's been so many now, so I've kind of lost track, but it's brought us to the end of episode 24 of Happily Entangled AF. Special thanks to Marathon Health Pharmacy for making this episode possible. It's been a pleasure sharing some of what we do to remain healthy with you in today's vlog. And don't forget, you can also connect with Marathon Health Pharmacy by checking them out on Instagram at Marathon Health Pharmacy, or you can call them up on
650-4675.
That's it for today's episode. God willing, until next week when we meet again.
Bye.